a complete diaper bag restock with me as a medical mom, high needs mom, disabled mom, whatever you want to call it, I am that. My almost 2-year-old daughter has cerebral palsy, and I have to pack my diaper bag a little bit different than most people. So I'm just gonna take you along on that journey today. I'm doing a total restock. I've already completely emptied my bag of all of the like little odds and ends that were hanging out in there still. So I pulled out like an old tubie. I've got like different used syringes that came out of it, just like a bunch of random, this like super squished liquid IV in the Bomb Pop flavor that came out. Kind of upset I didn't know that was in there because I would have used it, but that's fine. So I'm just gonna do a complete diaper bag restock, exactly what goes in my bag, how I organize it, all of that, while talking with you guys. So I usually start with her emergency meds just because it's like the most important in my opinion. And I'm preparing her diaper bag because we're about to head out of state again. And I just want to make sure that I have everything I need in the diaper bag to be able to do that without any sort of issues. So I'm just packing up what I think I'll need. So this is Lydia's rescue med if she were to ever have a breakthrough seizure that were to last more than 3 minutes. We would then administer this. She's never used it. We've had it for a year and a half now, a little less, and we've never used it, which is great, but you know, you never know, so I always keep it with me. And then this is, she's G-tube fed, and if her button were to ever fall out, we put this in the button hole until we could replace the button. Again, that's never happened, but we always keep it with us just in case. Her button, I thought this was really interesting when we were first getting used to her different diagnoses. I've got some syringes here. They're just, no, I don't want this many. Hold on. I thought it was really interesting when she first got her button. We learned that it never fully heals because the inside doesn't have skin that can properly close up. So although the outside looks like it's totally healed, as if it were like an earring, and like you can tell that there's like, you know, like your earring looks like, but a little bit bigger. The inside never actually fully heals. So if the button were to be pulled out for only 4 hours, it would fully close up. And I thought that was so strange to wrap my head around because I was like, what do you mean this completely closed off wound can just like reopen and then heal within minutes? Okay, and then I also have these teeny connectors. They go from the syringes directly to her button like this. Normally we will use these tubes. That's how we do like her feeding and such, but these are really good to have as backups in case anything happens with the tube or we like forget it or lose it or whatever. So I always keep a couple of these in the bag as well as extra syringes just in case. So I'm gonna add that to her med pouch. And then I also like to keep, just in case, this is a bottle topper for her prescription meds. So here, I'll show you what that looks like. But you've seen it before. It's just set up a little bit different than like what you would buy it. Oh, this one doesn't have one. Okay. That's fine. We'll look at that later. Actually, this might. Okay, so this just goes right in the bottle like that. So I always keep that on hand just in case, like if we were need to pick up like a Tylenol or ibuprofen over the counter, or if we had to call in some sort of medication, and they had to like get it to a pharmacy that we don't usually get it from, I just keep that with, because it's not common for other pharmacies to carry G-tube supplies. So although I could get all of her medicines at like your local Walgreens or whatever, I can't get the tools that you need for the medicines. And then I don't know what this is called. I call it a wheel, but it just goes in the little like bottle topper, and then the syringe goes on that so you can pull through the meds. So I keep backups of those in the diaper bag just in case I ever were to need them. And it has come in handy a couple times, but it's not super common. Okay, and then I think the last thing that needs to go in our little emergency pouch is our travel med container. We used to keep like more bottles in the bag, but it got way too chaotic. So now I've just got everything in here that I think we could maybe need. And I'm gonna add this to her emergency pouch as well. I think that should be everything that I need in there. Okay, so then this is her feeding bag for her feeding pump. And I always like keeping an extra at the bottom of the bag. And that way if like, say like we're in the sun for too long, her formula can like expire quicker than it's supposed to. And that way I don't have to worry about like any like cross-contamination. I can just pull out a new bag and give her that. So I always like keeping one on hand just in case something like goes bad with the formula, or in case there's any sort of like kink or damage or whatever. So I hang on to that. And now this is our actual diaper bag. I'm gonna do a little restock of that because it's got some extra room in it. So I'm just opening our new diapers. But yeah, so we're gonna be gone. Well, I'm going to be gone for like 2-ish weeks. My husband is staying home for most of it. I think there's like 2 or 3 days that he will meet up with us, but he's going to predominantly be staying home with our puppies because the summer is our busy season in our standard job. And Lydia and I are just going to go on a little bit of an adventure. We're going to be going to Arizona to visit one of my close friends that I've known forever. We've been besties since middle school, actually. When she moved to my school district, we really hit it off pretty much immediately. And I keep promising that we're gonna visit her. And we were supposed to visit her a couple times over actually, but Lydia's schedule and medical needs obviously come first. So we've had to replan a couple times. So I've got this jam-packed, there's no extra room in here. But yeah, so I'm excited because we are going to catch up with her. It'll be our first time visiting her actually, even though she's been relocated to Arizona for a good minute. And then her mom is a total sweetheart too. She loves Lydia, is really good with Lydia. So I'm excited for there to be like more friends around for Lydia and who like want to be involved in her care and whatever. So I'm really excited for that. That's gonna be this next week starting tomorrow. Like we fly out tomorrow. And then after that, we've got a couple other stops because our schedule is just so super duper busy right now. And because of that, I'm just making sure that I have everything I could possibly need. Okay, so I have this super cute set of PJs. They are Sesame Street. They're from Copper Pearl. This is a 3T because that is the size that I am dressing Lydia in right now. And I'm just gonna throw this at the bottom of her diaper bag because you never know when you're gonna need a backup outfit for your cutie girl. And that is very true of all kids. We always had, actually, we had multiple backup outfits before. Now we're pretty good about like just needing one just in case. But anyways, and then I grabbed a full wipe pack to make sure that I have enough to get us through the entire roughly 2 weeks. So I'm gonna add that in. We're gonna add her diapers on top of that. All right, so that actually takes up like a lot of space in her diaper bag. Let me see if I can show you. So there's not a lot of room that's actually left in here anymore, but we've got more that we need to fit in. So let's fill it up. Like I said, we are going to be traveling via air, and I do not pack Lydia's medications in checked bags. They do not leave my person for any length of time when we are traveling because you just never know if you're going to be separated from your things or not. So I've got this little storage bag and I'm just putting her full med bottles. I'll only be able to fit 2 of the 3 in this container, if I remember correctly. But I'm gonna put her meds in here as well as some on-the-go syringes to make sure that I can always, always, always administer those meds. She gets them morning and night around like 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. So I just like to make sure that in the case of anything happening and like flights were delayed or what have you, that I would always have access to her medications that she needs. So I always keep them in the bag, which does add weight and bulk and all the things, but knowing that I have them in case anything were to go wrong is like so crucial to being a medical parent. And I would like to say that it's never applied before, but it has. There have been a number of times where different items have been separated from us. Most recently, when we went to Panama for Lydia's stem cell, I made a video about how I always pack her meds in our like personal items. And that exact trip, our stroller got separated from us for like 36 hours. And if you've been around for a while, you might already know this, but Lydia cannot support her head on her own yet. So we do have to either carry her or stroller her all the time. And carrying her can be a lot because she's 27 pounds now. So that was kind of a bummer for our intro to Panama to be being separated from our stroller. And then we've also had other instances of like delayed flights where we had no longer had access to our checked bags and we were like, well, shoot, now what? So that's why I just always keep her medications physically on us because we're not trying to have any problems with it. So I'm gonna add this to the bag and then I am gonna have to pack her remaining medication separately because it doesn't fit in there. So I'm just gonna slide this last one in here as well. And then I'm going to add a deodorant into the side pocket for me because more often than not, we run out of the door late and I realized that I forgot deodorant. So I like keeping that in there. And then also while we're on my stuff, I have a Summer Fridays lip gloss, a Super Goop SPF lip balm, a face sunscreen, and then also a Tarte lip tint. So I'm gonna put all of these in the bag. These are my items that I like having with me just so I can feel a little bit more put together at any given time. It is getting tight. Okay. I've got all of those in there. Fabulous. Okay, and then I've got 2 backup tampons just in case. I'm not anticipating my period throughout this next 2 weeks because I just finished. But I like keeping that in there no matter what. Okay, this is Lydia's favorite toy right now. These ones are just off Amazon. They're like the knockoff version of the formerly known as Cush balls, but she loves them, so we always keep one pretty much everywhere. She likes the sensory input, the texture of the little strings, and then also because the center isn't super big, I don't know if you can see that, but like the center isn't very large. It's small enough for her to be able to hold in her hand. So I'm gonna drop that in. That's gonna be the only toy that I have in the actual diaper bag. Just because we are working with limited space, I do have to really prioritize her medications. So we're gonna do that. I've got a brush with a bunch of her ponytails already on it. We're gonna throw that in there. I'm going to tear off one of those bags. These are children's diaper bags. They're a lot like dog poop bags, but they are scented. They're lavender scented for no real reason. I'm gonna drop these in the diaper bag as well, just in case. I ordered this squeezy snacker off Amazon because I was told that they connect to G-tube supplies, and I wanted to give her like a proper water bottle because we've been struggling with hydration, and this does not connect to any of our G-tube pieces. So if anyone is aware how to make this connect to her ENFit button, please let me know, because I keep getting all of these like random tools to try to be able to get her more water easily, so it's more like a water bottle situation, and it is not going well. Okay, I'm gonna move that out of the way. I did not end up needing more ponytails because there was actually plenty on the hairbrush, so I'm gonna move that. We might just be down, oh, okay. I'm opening her tubie. Sometimes they are so tricky. Okay, I've got one of her, I think it's called a G-tube extender. We call it a tubie. But I'm putting one of these in one of her pockets in the diaper bag. Here again, just in case we ever did not have ours, something happened to it, whatever, I like keeping a backup. So that's in there just for safekeeping. And then for now, our system for water is these really big syringes, and we'll just give her like 30 at a time. So I'm gonna put these 2 in the diaper bag to make sure that even if one is being cleaned, that I always have one available. And this is going to be what I use for the next 2 weeks for hydration purposes. So I'm just sliding that in there. Okay, I think that's everything, actually. I think I've got it all packed away. Fabulous. And then when we are actually on the go, we'll just throw her feeding pump in here, and we will be ready to go. But we only have one feeding pump, so you can never pack that early because obviously she needs it. And then I'm just gonna give the sides a little squish. And then I'm gonna put her formula. Right now she is on this Kate Farms formula. It is 1.2 calories per milliliter. She's not on that because she can't tolerate calories or anything like that. It's just where she was coming from. She was on like Similac infant formula for a long time, which is, I want to say it's 0.6 calories per milliliter. So she didn't need the whole 1.5 calories. So that's just a little bit easier for her body to adjust to. And then I've got a water bottle. We will mix that in with her formula to dilute it a little bit more, increase hydration. And then I'll also be using this with her larger syringes to give her water. Yes, I am going through TSA. They will not confiscate the water from me, nor will they confiscate the formulas, the medications, anything in here where you're like, wait a second, you can't take that with you. What are you thinking? They won't touch it. Because she is medically complex, you pretty much get a free pass for everything. There's only been one time where I did pack a water bottle and they just asked me about it and were like, hey, like, what's the water bottle for? And I just said like, oh, you know, I need it for her formulas because we dilute them. And they were like, oh, okay, great. But more often than not, they see the feeding pump. It's not particularly scary, but they see the feeding pump and the meds and they're like, I don't know what's happening here, but this is out of my realm. And they tend to just pass us through. So that's really nice that we don't usually have to fight with TSA. But because of that like medical complexity, they let us bring all of it with. So I like just bringing her water with. There have been a couple times where I've bought hers in the airport alongside mine because I always need a water for flights. But this is just easier to have it all ready to go. So this is her entire diaper bag. And then the only things that stayed were I have this little emergency card with her contact info, her insurance info, her diagnoses, her medication she takes, and the times of day she takes them. Just in case anything were to ever happen, whoever was picking up care would be able to at least get the basics done. And then I also have a Touchland sanitizer that just hangs on the backpack. So that's everything, and this is gonna be what I'm gonna take with me for the entire 2 weeks. I'm pretty much gonna live out of this bag, even though it is considered my personal item. It is also my diaper bag and pretty much our lifeline. And I don't think I could medical parent without everything that is in here. So thank you for sticking with me while we pack the diaper bag. I can't wait to talk to you guys next time. I'm going to try to come on here more and just talk to you about life and make more of an emphasis of having more of like a real conversation with you guys instead of just like short stories and such. So thank you for sticking around and watching. And if you're new here, subscribe if you feel so inclined.